Welcome to Subramani. I'm going to talk about a very often ignored topic called portfolio construction. All of us are here to create some wealth for ourselves and largely to meet our goals, right? Your goals depend on two things, or rather, your portfolio depends on two things. One is the time horizon for which you are investing, and therefore, how complicated a portfolio do you need to create. So let us talk of some goals, some very time specific goals. You know your daughter is now 4 years old, you know exactly when she will be in class 12, exactly when she will be seeking engineering admission, and exactly when she will be seeking MBA education, right? So these are very specific goals. You want the money on a particular date, right? So 15 years from now she would have passed, say, class 12, or 11 years from now she would have passed class 10, or all those things. You know exactly what you want. So now there are two questions. One is the time frame for goal. So let's say 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, or 10 years and above. 10 years and above doesn't really change much beyond whether it is 12 or 15 or 18. I would still go for equity. Now what happens in a fund which you are trying to raise for, say, 18 years or 15 years? You are saying, okay, this portfolio is for my daughter's engineering education and MBA education, say daughter's education. Now fairly obvious, if it is 11 years away or 12 years away or 15 years away, you want to say, okay, I will keep it in equity. However, it will not always be 11 years away, right? Next year it will be 10 years away, then it will be 8 years away, 7 years away, right? It will keep falling. At that stage, how much to keep in equity and how much to keep in debt? It's fairly obvious that the day you want it, you can't say, oh, I will remove all the money from equity. It may not happen. It may not be very easy to do it, because that day the market could be bad. So a lot of people say that, oh, you're saying keep all money in equity. What happens if equity is bad on the day of my daughter's class 12 admission or engineering admission or something like that, right? That's a wrong question to ask. The question to ask is, you have created a portfolio of, say, 3 companies, or rather 3 mutual funds. One is equity, one is debt, and one is liquid. So you have never bothered about keeping money in liquid, because your whole goal is 14 years away or 13 years away. So you have put everything into equity. But then when you are coming to 8 years away or 9 years away, you then assess how well the equity has done. Suppose equity has done extremely well and you have already reached your value, right? You wanted X amount. I'm not even getting into numbers, because 10 years later, let's say 1 crore, and your fund has already reached 92 lakhs or 93 lakhs 3 years before the date on which you needed the money. It's fairly obvious on that day you just remove whatever you need, maybe 80-90% of whatever you need, and put it into a ultra short bond fund, or don't have to go as much as a liquid fund, but you put it in ultra short bond fund. And about, say, 2 months before or 3 months before the fee paying date, you take and put it in liquid. And if you think, oh, this is a 5-year course, she's going to do MBBS, I require money over 5-year period, you keep it in ultra short bond fund. You don't keep it in equity, because equity could fail. You cannot miss this target, and these dates are known. You know, in 2023 your daughter is 3 years of age, and she is going to require this money 15 years later when she is 18 years of age and she is passing class 12. You know exactly you require this money in 2038. So you start looking at it in 2033 or 34 and see where you have reached. Like I said, if you have already reached the target, you just get off, right? You don't have to then take any risk at all in that portion, because you don't want to be found short on that day. On that day, you can't tell her, oh, sorry, don't do your MBBS now, can you postpone it by a year? No, you have got 15 years to plan this, and you should have planned it. And on that day, to decide how much to put into ultra short bond fund or a liquid fund is the only choice that you have. But you have to start withdrawing much earlier. even if you have not reached, like if you thought you would have reached 1 crore, you have reached only 60 lakhs, you got only 4 years to go, you still have to remove some money and not say, oh, I hope the next 4 years it will make up. No, hope is not good strategy. So maybe you withdraw 10 lakhs saying, okay, I need this 1 crore over a 5-year period, so it is only the first 20 lakhs for which I have a 4-year time frame. Otherwise I have 6-7 years, I have 5, so 6, 7, 8, 9 years time frame. So therefore I will not withdraw the whole thing, but 10 lakhs which I have to pay, or 20 lakhs I have to pay, so at least 15 lakhs I will take it and put it in ultra short bond fund, and then I will use that will also grow at 6% or 5% or whatever. So therefore I will use that money for my first payment, and by the time, in the meanwhile, if the equity fund does well, I will remove it and put it in ultra short bond fund or in liquid fund, depending on my time frame when I require the money, and that is what I'll do. So this creating a smallish portfolio for each goal also makes sense, though I'm not a big proponent of that. I would just say put some money in equity, some money in ultra short bond fund, what you require in the next 2-3 years, and some money in liquid fund if you want it in the next 15 days, right? You have to make a down payment for a house on 15th of August, and you're looking at the portfolio on 1st of July. That money should be in your ultra short bond fund, or preferably in your liquid fund, because if it is already lying in ultra short bond fund and you don't have an exit, you don't have to worry about the exit or taxation or anything, then obviously that money should be in your liquid fund. So this is very important. So where does time frame come? I think I should do that into a separate video. Thank you.